Are you looking for the best Wear OS smartwatches? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best smartwatches on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Samsung Galaxy Watch 6. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 is one of the deepest Wear OS smartwatches you can put on your wrist. It combines the depth and functionality of Wear OS 4 with the unique apps and features Samsung offers, making for a solid wearable that does a lot of things right. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 is a compromise device in the right mold. It's not going to be quite as premium as the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic, nor is stock Wear OS as the Pixel Watch 2, but it is arguably sportier than those two, and comes in two sizes, 40mm and 44mm, to accommodate more wrists. You lose out on the physical rotating bezel the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic offers, though you end up with a smaller body that could feel less cumbersome during activity or while sleeping. Ever since Samsung adopted Wear OS, it's found ways to blend in its own apps, features, and settings into the OS. Each iteration continues to improve upon the foundation, as in how a newer chipset and more memory helps the software run smoother than before. There are no major surprises here from the previous Galaxy Watch 5 to this one, though there is a brighter touchscreen and better strap design that latches on the wrist with a single click. There are dozens of exercises to track, plus health and sleep metrics to keep tabs on as well. If you have a Samsung phone, you can take advantage of the ECG, electrocardiogram, and BPM, blood pressure monitor, the latter of which is available in some countries but not others. Battery life also holds up well, regularly hitting 36 to 48 hours per charge. Number 2. Google Pixel Watch 2. It would be easy to assume the Pixel Watch 2 has an inside edge with Wear OS because it's a Google smartwatch, but that's not necessarily true. It only comes in 141mm size and looks very much like a clone of the previous model. A redesigned digital crown for smoother scrolling and improved hardware under the hood help push this watch to more of what we would have liked to see in the original. The screen is nice, though not as bright as what Samsung offers with the Galaxy Watch 6 lineup. The biggest change Wear OS 4 brings to all smartwatches running it is the ability to transfer a watch from one phone to another without having to reset it first. You may feel a tighter integration if you're rocking a Pixel phone, but access to Gmail, Wallet, Calendar, and Assistant isn't exclusive to Google's phones. What is, at least as far as Wear OS goes, is the Fitbit integration owing to Google's acquisition of that brand, letting you tracking health and fitness metrics using that familiar platform. You can still use the Pixel Watch app to manage general settings or the Fitbit app to manage all the tracking features, thereby splitting the roles, much like the Galaxy Wearable and Samsung Health apps respectively do on Samsung watches. To get the most out of Fitbit, however, you'll need a Fitbit Premium subscription because various scores related to stress, activity, and sleep are all hidden behind that paywall. On the other hand, you can at least expect the Pixel Watch 2 to last longer per charge at up to 36 hours compared to barely 24 hours before. Number 3. OnePlus Watch 2. The OnePlus Watch 2 is a sequel, but it's also a first because it's the first OnePlus wearable to run Wear OS. It has its own overlay giving it a different look and some challenges to work out, though no other Wear OS smartwatch can match this one on battery life right now. This smartwatch marks a return for OnePlus in two respects. On the one hand, it's the company's first wearable in a few years, and on the other, the OnePlus Watch 2 is the first to run Wear OS. It sports an interesting mix that puts together Wear OS 4 with RTOS, real-time operating system, a low-power system tasked with handling background processes related to monitoring health sensors and maintaining the connection with the paired phone, thus leaving Wear OS to deal with all the major functions and third-party apps. It's a slick watch in spite of its larger 47mm size, complete with a vibrant and responsive AMOLED display. Strangely, though, OnePlus adds a digital crown that does nothing when you rotate it, not even scrolling menus within the Wear OS interface. Software and health tracking experiences are readily available, yet could use some improvement through software updates, so it remains to be seen how the Watch 2 fares if those improvements are forthcoming. Unlike Samsung and Google, OnePlus doesn't offer an LTE variant for the Watch 2, so you'll need your phone for data connections. Where OnePlus beats them both is in battery life, as the Watch 2 easily outlasts any Galaxy or Pixel watch with 4 days of battery life. Even with lots of GPS and screen use, this watch can hit 48 hours easily. Number 4. Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. The Samsung Galaxy 6 Classic version comes in bigger sizes than the regular Galaxy 6, and brings back the physical rotating bezel to navigate Wear OS with precision. There's plenty more to use within the platform coupled with Samsung's own feature set. The Galaxy Watch 6 Classic is as close as Samsung gets to building a wearable that mixes the tech of a smartwatch with a design resembling a more traditional timepiece. It also brings back the physical rotating bezel that was a consistent staple for the company until its omission in the Galaxy Watch 5 series. While this does strongly resemble the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic, it comes in two bigger sizes, 43mm and 47mm. It's also a model of what Wear OS is capable of, primarily because the screen gets super bright to see in all conditions, and Samsung's One UI 5 overlay continues to blend in with the wider Wear OS 4 interface. Samsung adds its own flavor to getting around on its smartwatches, doing so without limiting access to the features that should matter. That includes tracking health and fitness metrics like exercise, activity, sleep, blood oxygen, SpO2, and skin temperature, the latter being a first on a classic wearable. There's limited automatic exercise tracking and the option to get some sleep coaching in Samsung Health as well. You can still access Google Assistant, or Bixby, if you prefer, Wallet, Maps, and Calendar, plus take and make phone calls. Not to mention the LTE variant. Battery life holds up fairly well with 2 days, a good possibility with the always-on display for the 47mm, which has the larger power capacity. The 43mm version won't make it that far, meaning you would have to charge that back up more often. Number 5. TicWatch Pro 5 Enduro Smartwatch. The Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 5 Enduro makes incremental changes to improve upon its predecessor, still keeping its unique dual-layer display that helps Wear OS run without draining as much battery life. It's not on Wear OS 4 yet, but eventually could be with a software update. If the TicWatch E3 is Mobvoi's budget option, the TicWatch Pro 5 Enduro is the more premium one. It's up against stiff competition in the Wear OS space as evidenced by this list, but there are reasons to consider the Enduro over others. For starters, it retains its predecessor's proprietary dual-layer display that brings together a low-power LCD panel and primary OLED display to improve battery life. The LCD shows the time and date, step count, heart rate, and other basics, while the OLED shows everything from Wear OS. It's just that in spite of being the newer model, the Enduro still runs on Wear OS 3.5, leaving it to catch up with the rest of the pack on the software side. While the discrepancy doesn't cripple the device, many of the improvements related to battery life aren't as applicable here because Mobvoi already found a way to extend life per charge further with the dual-layer display. A slimmer frame and improved digital crown help establish the Enduro as a worthy looker on this list. Health and fitness tracking largely stay the same, so you don't sacrifice much in that regard beyond the aesthetic differences compared to the likes of a Galaxy or Pixel Watch. At the same time, missing out on Wear OS 4 means you have to reset the TicWatch Pro 5 when switching phones. Plus, Google Assistant is missing in action after Mobvoi muzzled it in the Wear OS 3.5 upgrade, with no word on when or if it will come back.